You can't hate yourself into healing. So I want you to keep that in mind. You can have gratitude towards your body and still desire change. And actually, when you do that, it makes the process so much easier. Welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, the podcast where we debunk the eat less, move more, shrink more mentality and focus on what really matters, which includes your relationship with your body, food, self-worth, and the behaviors that align with all of those. I'm your host, Christina Hathaway, licensed therapist with specialized training in food and body obsession, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. At the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, we believe what you say in your mind, you see in the mirror. So let's have a conversation about that. Before we get into today's episode, I want to make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, if you don't want to miss any content that's being dropped, make sure you hit that notification bell as well. I also want to know who are the people you want to hear from on this show and what topics would you like me to continue to cover. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now, let's get into the episode. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. I'm so excited that you took this time out for yourself to learn something about your physical and mental health. Good for you. Today, we are talking about how to find gratitude with your body, your food, and self-worth. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, right? Giving thanks to what we have. But unfortunately, when it comes to your body or food, gratitude or your worth, gratitude is so fucking complicated. It can be so uncomfortable for most of us to look at food, hunger even, our bodies, who we are as something to be thankful for because we have been designed to need more, to be perfect, to do more, to strive for always being better than what we currently are. We will hit a goal and think about what is next. And we've got to change that. Because what the hell are we living for if we never celebrate where we are, what we have, what we're able to do? And so when your body feels like this foreign entity that has to be productive, has to look a certain way, act a certain way to be enough, when food feels like it's so complicated and filled with guilt and shame and rules, when your worth feels conditional, performative, only good enough if, that's no way to live. I don't give a shit how many gratitude journals you have. You're not practicing it wholeheartedly. You're practicing on the things that are easy, the things that you probably don't need to practice. This is the shit. This is what we're talking about. This isn't about toxic positivity, right? This isn't even about loving. I'm going to eat my microphone. This is not about loving. This is how passionate I am. I'm get in a fight with a microphone. This is not about loving your body even. It's learning to anchor just in appreciation and acceptance. Respecting it. And here's the thing, is when you can move away from criticism and hatred towards your body, food, and self-worth, and simply find a place of respect for it and acceptance of it and gratitude, that's when this whole what you say in your mind, you see in your mirror healing begins, because it's true. So I want you to understand in this episode is when we find this gratitude, it doesn't mean we don't, continue doing the things we need to do. We don't stop growing. It just means that we stop waging a war on ourselves while we're growing and healing and self-caring. So, again, this is a heavy one, but I think it's so important on this day. I hope that you're listening to this and you're walking through Thanksgiving and you're thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get through today? I can't eat this. What am I going to do here? Da, da, da. I hope this brings you a sense of peace as you walk in. And I hope you do some of the things that we talk about today. Maybe you're on a little walkie. Good for you. Guess what? Your body is able to walk. There are people out there that don't have that ability. As I'm talking about this, I get emotional because to watch your loved one lose that, something that they enjoy, you realize how precious your body really is. But most of us, we try to find gratitude for how our body looks or how it performs in a certain way. But that's not gratitude, you guys. That's approval. It's approval dressed up as self-love. Ugh. Didn't think I was going to cry on this episode. I think we've gone like a month without crying. Yay. I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful for crying. Anyway, when you look at your body and say, like, I'm grateful because you're thin or you are size 4, and it's not even grateful, it's how you treat it. It's like, I am excited about it and proud of it when it only looks a certain way. Like, that is not gratitude, right? It's that external validation. And that's not even yours. That's everyone else's. And these old narratives of like, I love my body when it's 150 pounds. I love my body when I can fit in a size 2. I love my body when I can fit into these particular pants, right? I'll be confident once I fix the hormone issue, the gut issue, the weight, right? That's conditional gratitude. It requires you to have to change or do something. So it requires you not to accept where you're currently at, to feel confident, to be good, to feel good in your body, right? It's self-rejection, really. It's a loop of self-rejection too, because it's not true. It's not true gratitude for this body that you have. And if we continue in that place, again, we're trying to change our bodies from this critical judgmental mindset. And no one wants to be criticized all the time or judged all the time, even you, about you. So that's when a lot of these like rebellious, protective parts of us come up and try to get us out of this, critical place. And that's when we end up doing shit we don't want to do, right? We get off the diet or not the diet. Like we just stop with self-care. We, binge eat, we emotionally drink, whatever that looks like. When it comes to our bodies, if we can just start with acknowledging it, right? We don't have to admire it. That's where a lot of us get this wrong. I think I say this on this episode every time, is like, you don't have to admire your body, but you can acknowledge what it does for you. For me, I'm so thankful that my body carried me through this chaos and it didn't shut down. It should have shut down, but it didn't. And for those of you who are new to this podcast, I said this on a couple podcasts ago, so hopefully if this is your first podcast, like I've had a really tough year of loss. And there were just times where I was crying to my best friend. I was like, I just feel like I'm floating through this year. Like I don't feel like my feet are on the ground. And I was just crying to her. And I'm so thankful that my body still got me through it. It brought me through the chaos. Other things that we can say about our body are just the mechanics, right? Maybe you love to dance. Well, guess what? Your body allows you to do that. It allows you to dance. Maybe you love to give hugs, right? Your body allows you to do that. Your body gives hugs. Maybe you love to walk. Maybe you love working and you work because your body allows you to do it. You can also be grateful for your body even when you're uncomfortable in it. Both can be true. I am grateful in this body because I am healthy. I am able-bodied. I am able to work out. I am able to listen to my hunger cues, or I'm learning it and I still feel uncomfortable with it. And both of those can be true. what you're saying is like, I'm thankful for my body because it's communicating to me. I talked about communication in the stress episode. It's communicating with me, not betraying me, right? If you're tired all the time, you might start to feel really negative about your body, but it's communicating to you. Something needs to change. How wonderful for your body to say, hey, something's wrong here. And having gratitude that your body didn't give up on you, even when things kept going wrong. It's so important. And again, if you've ever lost someone, or maybe for some of you, you've lost some ability, still looking at it like, that's a wake-up call of this life is very precious. This body is very precious. And if you've ever seen someone lose their ability to do the things that they love, you realize that. And it just makes life, while loss is so shitty, it really makes you realize like a lot of this stuff doesn't fucking matter, right? Now, yes, being healthy is important. So hopefully we never have to go through something like cancer like my dad did, but it might happen, right? Even some of the healthiest people have cancer. So it doesn't mean that you abandon that stuff, but it does make you think like it also doesn't matter that much. So what I want you to practice maybe today before you have Thanksgiving dinner or throughout this rest of this year are these following things. These are just the easiest ways to feel a sense of gratitude for your body. Before you start a workout, I want you to just thank your body. Maybe in the warm up, like, thank you, body. Like, thank you for showing up today. Thank you for allowing me to do this, right? Thank you as you're going through the workout. Wow, thank you. What a great set. Look at that form. I've been really focusing on quads because when I was doing the bike ride for cancer research, I didn't do a lot of quads because obviously the bike worked the quads a lot. And I remember on my first day back, the lactic acid was literally setting in between sets. And I was like, oh, but we got through it. And I remember being like, thank you, body, for having proper form. And sometimes when I overdo it with squats, my lower back tends to hurt because obviously my form gets compromised. I know that to be true. And it didn't. My lower back didn't hurt. I felt great. And that's something to thank your body about. Another way to feel gratitude towards your body is just catching the judgment. And like I say, rather than getting critical, get curious. What is my body trying to tell me right now? I'm wondering why I'm thinking this way. And it's not just your body communicating in regards to what it needs. Physically, it can communicate in a way that tells you what it needs emotionally. So when you're in this place of self-criticism, oftentimes, as I say, it's your brain. Remember, your brain is in your body. They're connected. It's your brain protecting you by saying, like, I'm going to figure out all of my flaws first before anyone else, because it's much easier for me to be the critic of myself than for others to see my flaws. So if you start getting into that really critical space, get curious. What is going on here? Right? Why am I picking my body apart? Oh, I have the interview coming up and this is my brain's way of protecting me. What do I really need? I need some gratitude. I need some encouragement. I need to tell myself I'm a fucking badass and I know what I'm talking about and I'm a great person. I'm going to go in that interview and if they are smart, they will hire me, right? And maybe they're not, or maybe it's not a good fit and that's okay. I'm still amazing. That's what your body needs in that moment. Remember, acceptance in this case is not the same as being complacent. You know, complacent is just kind of staying the same, right? You can love your body's functions and still desire it to change, right? Both can be true. You're a woman who makes it all happen. The deadlines, the deals, the demands. You're disciplined, capable, and results driven. But lately, it's taking a lot more effort to feel like yourself. You're still achieving. you're not thriving. And deep down, you know, success shouldn't cost your energy, your focus, or your peace. You don't need another plan. You need a strategy that matches your ambition. You've built a life around achievement, but no one ever taught you how to sustain it. Most high-performing women are operating with fractured systems. Great work ethic, but poor recovery. A strong body, but an overwhelmed mind. A plan for success, but not for longevity. You don't need more hustle. You need alignment. Your nervous system, nutrition, and training working with you, not against you. Hi, I'm Christina Hathaway, founder and CEO of The Mindset of Matter, a company built to help ambitious women master high performance from the inside out. I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy with specialized training in food and body obsession, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who spent over 15 years helping women reprogram their relationship with achievement, food, and their body that they lead from. I integrate clinical psychology, behavioral science, and performance physiology to create what most programs miss: a complete strategy for mental clarity, physical resilience, and sustainable success. This isn't just life coaching. This is human performance training for elite women, where therapy meets science and strategy meets embodiment. This Black Friday, I'm opening a limited time opportunity to work with me directly, offering $775 off our 6 months one-to-one mentorship. This is a personalized, high-touch transformation program where therapy meets training and nutrition. We'll rebuild your energy, your metabolism, and your mindset so you can lead with clarity, confidence, and strength at last. Or also $775 off our 6-month group mentorship with Coach Liv, with my direct oversight and involvement in monthly calls. Same science-backed framework delivered in a community for women who want accountability, precision, and power alongside other overachievers. There are no strict meal plans. There's no hustle culture. There is no one-size-fits-all routines. You'll get an evidence-based system that blends therapeutic insight to regulate your nervous system and rewire your relationship with yourself, nutrition strategy to fuel your focus, stabilize your energy, and restore metabolic health, performance training that builds strength, stamina, and resilience without sacrificing your recovery. Because structure isn't the enemy, misalignment is. When your body and mind are optimized, you don't just get results, you keep them. This is the blueprint for you to become unstoppable. This Black Friday offer is open for a limited time only. When it closes, it closes. No extensions, no exceptions. If you're ready to stop settling for functioning and start operating at your full potential, this is your power move. Because wellness isn't self-care, it's a performance strategy. And the women who understand that, they don't just succeed, they lead this standard. The Mindset of Matter, where therapy meets physiology, where high-achieving women come to lead stronger, think clearer, and live with unmatched power. But the opposite is not true. You can't hate yourself into healing. So I want you to keep that in mind. You can have gratitude toward your body and still desire change. And actually, when you do that, it makes the process so much easier. Because as I said, when you're trying to hate yourself into healing, you will begin to use protective behaviors to not feel like shit all the time. And those protective behaviors usually are counter to your desired change. So gratitude shifts your relationship with your body from this performance, external validation, I need to look and act a certain way in order to be confident or enough, to a sense of partnership. Like, we're working with this together. We're working on it together. And I like you through the process. That's a big difference. So, which one are you going to do? Are we going to catch with awareness and reframe? Or are we just going to have that moment of thanks? What are we going to do there? All right. Now, for a lot of women, food can be both an enemy and an escape for them. As we talk about here all the time, food can be an escape. It can provide you a sense of relief. It can be your chaos instigator. When you're feeling like you're not doing or performing, basically boredom eating is what I mean by that. It can be a way to numb. It can be a way to create safety. There's so much to it. as well as it can feel like an enemy, especially when you label foods as good versus bad. You overdo it. You think that hunger is something that's wrong with you when it's not. It's very much how your body communicates to you. So finding gratitude towards food really takes a shift in your mind and in your mindset, because again, it's this escape and this like positive-esque thing and this enemy all at the same time, sometimes in the same breath, right? So food gratitude isn't about being thankful for calories, I guess. I don't know. But recognizing that food is like a sense of connection to yourself, a sense of nourishment to yourself, and as we talk about all the time, a sense of safety. I just talked about this in the stress episode, right? So what we want to do in reframing our relationship with food is first coming out of this sense of food is the thing that I control to a thing that I connect with. Now, one of the important things, and I talked about this on the attuned eating episode, is like your connection to food and the communication that you get from your body around food, and then your ability to connect with that and then implement it, I guess, or like act on it, is incredibly important. It's incredibly important because when our bodies communicate, right? And we say, okay, I'm hungry, but then we connect to, well, what will satisfy me? And then we eat that thing. We're good. We're satiated. Our food noise is lowered, right? We're nourishing ourselves. We are eating when we're hungry, so there's safety, and we're staying connected to our bodies. But when we control, we eat the things we don't want to eat. We tend to probably binge later, snack later, or emotionally eat or overeat later. Later could be that night, could be that weekend. We don't feel satisfied. The food noise is out of control, right? So we want to move and reframe from a sense of control to a sense of connection. And again, having gratitude for that. My client Amber is like my favorite. She's like, I am just so thankful what food has done for me in my life now, because she's worked on attuned eating. She's like, I realized food and eating more food is the solution to almost everything that she was struggling with, you know? And even with her, we've worked on attuned eating for months, and now we're in a little fat loss phase. And for her, she worked on this connection with food and communication and gratitude for it for months, and then she still went into a fat loss phase. Both can be true, right? Secondly, we're going to move from this place of guilt around food to grace for food. Even when you overeat, there still can be grace in that. You can have grace around the awareness, like, oh, that was a little too much. Like, that was uncomfortable. And I can be grateful that I have that awareness, that I can be simply grateful that I didn't guilt myself this time. Now, there is a line with grace, because for some people, they're just constantly leaning into grace. There's still, everything shouldn't be all or nothing, right? There's this gray area with grace. You can have that gratefulness, and you can repair your trust with yourself when you say, oh, like, I can trust myself to like recognize when things went a little bit too far, make a very small shift in my fullness and like when I stop eating, rather than like restarting a whole new diet because of it. That's not necessary in this case. So moving from guilt, and other examples could be like guilt around having cake or cookies. It's like, have some grace with yourself. Like, I really enjoy cookies and I want to eat cookies. So one thing I do, I think I've told you guys, is I have 2 chocolate chip cookies almost every day. I make a peanut butter yogurt with chocolate chip cookies snack. I eat it between lunch and dinner. It's 2 Tate's thin cookies. They're 140 calories for 2. 8 ounces of Greek yogurt and a scoop of PB Fit. It is so delicious. I absolutely love it. I like to pair my pleasurable foods with like a protein because I want to have that sustainable energy, but I don't have to all the time. Sometimes I just eat a cookie. Tate's also has pumpkin spice cookies. Very good. So moving from guilt to grace. The next is moving from punishment to like a presence with your food, or with your food, excuse me. When you're eating mindfully and you're present with your food and you're enjoying those cookies and you're not thinking about, oh my God, did I track this? Did I get this right? Like, da. Not to say you can't track it, right? Because my clients are going to listen and be like, Christina, you tell us when we want to have that pleasurable food to track it ahead of time. I do say that. However, what I'm talking about is if we're going to have the cookie, then we just need to be present, right? We don't need to already start talking shit to ourselves about the cookie where we don't even enjoy the cookie. Then what the fuck is the point of the cookie if you're not there to enjoy it? Be present with it. Be thankful that someone somewhere decided to put flour and sugar and butter and chocolate chip cookies together and milk. I have no idea how you make cookies. I will just buy them in the sheet pan and pop them in the oven. Someone put those beautiful things together. One of my favorite shows, you guys, is the Great British Bake Off. Those people are so kind to each other and they just make the most beautiful things. Like, God bless them. I have gratitude towards them, right? So moving from this like punishment of like, shouldn't be having this, I shouldn't be having this, where you don't even enjoy the food, to like, I'm going to have this and I'm going to enjoy it. And when you do that, you feel satisfied where you don't need to keep going back to the thing. So there is all good things here when we stay present. So in practice, what we're going to try to do today or in the coming weeks is just take a little breather before you eat, right? Just have this single pause. Tell your body it's safe. We're going to digest. We're going to enjoy. We're going to do both of those things physically and emotionally. And we're just going to take that little pause and breather. Another really cool thing I thought of and I put in my notes was reflect on where that food came from, right? Who made the food? Did this food come from, maybe it's the type of food, like this is the food my ancestors eat, right? For me, the enchiladas that my mom makes are so delicious. And I know for her, it's a lot of work and love, but she knows how much people love them. Like I was just talking to my friend Wong. He is Chinese. And he was like, oh my God, I haven't stopped thinking about your mom's enchiladas. Like I will make sure to tell her that because she'll be very happy with that. But reflect on where your food came from. Is that a chicken? Maybe don't go that far. But like what was the work put into it, right? The farmers that created it, the people that helped put it together. Or like I said, culturally, like this is the food of my ancestors, or even like birthday cake or whatever it is, of being able to say like, this is something that we do to celebrate and having gratitude through that awareness. And then let your meals be more than macros. And yes, you can do what I'm about to say while also counting macros. Let them be those moments of connection to yourself, of course, but also to like people and to your peace. Both can be true. If you have a coach like myself, like Coach Liv, who are going to teach you how to make both of those things happen at once, this whole process becomes so much easier for you. And knowing that, beyond the fat loss phase, in maintenance, in reverse diet, we just give ourselves so much more to play around with when it comes to our food and our intake and our ability to have those moments of connection with food. It just makes it a lot easier. So that's even more reason to be in those phases of the diet cycle outside of a fat loss phase. But you can also make it both, right? You can say, I can have high protein, high fiber foods, and I can enjoy those foods that connect with others. So I want you to allow those things to happen. I want you to remember this, that you can't hate the thing that nourishes you and expect peace in your body. That is incredibly difficult. And I want to explain that first part. Food nourishes us. It is our fuel. And it is the thing that really dictates everything about our health. And if we hate that thing and we criticize it or put these rules on it, we're not creating peace in our body. We're creating more stress. And I already just talked about stress. We all know what happens with that. So let's try not to hate that thing. Let's try to create a sense of gratitude for it. Also, there is going to be, and there already is, cuts to people's food that can't afford to purchase foods. For me, I've been someone who has the means to help those individuals. And I see the gratitude on their face when we're, helping at food shelters or giving to like our neighborhood food drives. I want you to remind yourself that there are people in this country where food scarcity is real. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. And if you have the means to feed yourself, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe a snack, maybe not, but you have the means to do that, that's one amazing thing to be grateful for. And then also recognizing the gift in that, and that it has nothing to do with politics and all this shit. People should be fed because it is the thing that keeps us alive. And because you were lucky enough to be in your position, another form of gratitude is by luck. And that's it. It's by luck. Someone else has not been lucky enough to do that, even if that is someone who generationally has used benefits or whatever that looks like. That's what they know, right? And in a society where it's very hard to get out of that, until we create ways to get out of that, people are going to be stuck in that. So that's my little soapbox. You're welcome. And moving on to gratitude towards yourself. Think about how wonderful you feel when you give to others too, right? What are the hardest things, though, for people to find gratitude in is they don't feel worthy. So all these things I'm talking about, you're like, but I don't feel worthy, Christina. Gratitude for self-worth often feels so hard because you have this like lack of enoughness, right? And not only lack of enoughness, you look for evidence outside of yourself to find that enoughness. But eventually that evidence goes away or is sparing, you get it sparingly throughout your life. And when we say things like, I'm only worthy if I prove this or that, or I can only rest when I have earned rest, or I'm only confident in ways, in things that other people can see me as, that is not a mindset of gratitude. That is a mindset of, again, performance. I am not enoughness. I am not worthy unless, and we're not appreciating who we are. With a gratitude mindset, a gratitude towards your worth is like, I'm grateful for who I'm becoming, even when it's fucking messy. So many people say, I wish I would have found you sooner, Christina. And I say, you know what? You weren't ready. You weren't ready to do this work then. That's why I didn't show up on your page or in your ears. But now you're ready. And we're going to walk through it. I walk through the mess. We, our team, walks through the mess with our clients because mess is real. And when you can find gratitude for who you're becoming by walking through that mess rather than trying to avoid it, rather than trying to like wrap it up in this bow, putting shit in a box and gift wrapping it. We're not doing that. We're acknowledging it Being proud of your effort, not just your outcomes, is huge. Having gratitude for the fact that you show up every day. And you may show up differently every day, but you still show up every day. Whether, as I talk about all the times, having multiple plans for your goals is so incredibly important, because you're going to have days where things just don't work out. And that doesn't mean you abandon yourself. You have gratitude for the fact that you've listened to this podcast. You've learned that your 25% day consists of getting some vegetables on your plate and walking a mile. And that's it. And you did it. And you're grateful for that, right? The effort you put in, not just the outcome of, oh, look, I lost weight. And allowing yourself to rest, as I always talk about, not just because you've achieved something, but because your ass needs to rest. Be grateful that your body says to you, hey, it's time to rest. For some of you, that doesn't feel like a statement your body's making, but it is if you really listen. So in practice, each night, I want you to name 3. So this is where it gets different. 3 internal gratitudes, not just achievements, but characteristics and traits. I'm grateful for my resilience. I'm grateful for my awareness. I'm grateful for my trauma. That's one thing I say to myself, because I would not be the person that I am and have the ability to help thousands to millions of people across the world, because this platform will be a large platform. We're still working our way up, but I hope to share my stories so that I can help you. So I am grateful for those stories, because I had to go through it in order to understand it, right? Now, not everyone has to go through everything that people experience to understand it, but you get what I'm saying, right? So 3 internal gratitudes. Another form of gratitude is like, I showed up with honesty today. This is one of my favorite things that clients do. They're like, listen, Christina, I really overate last night, and my brain said, don't track it, because if you don't track it, she won't see it. If you don't track it, it doesn't count. But I want to show up with honesty, and I put it in the app. I want you to go ahead and go look at it. What a wonderful thing to be grateful for. What a great thing to be grateful for. I showed up with honesty, right? I'm grateful that I'm learning to listen to myself and not judging it, not being upset that I haven't been listening to myself, just being grateful that I'm doing it now. Just be grateful I'm doing it now. And anchor into the truth, because when you anchor in the truth, gratitude is not denying your pain. Like I talked about my trauma. I'm not saying, yay, I'm so glad I went through that. No, it sucked. However, it's about refusing that pain to define your worth. Just because I went through the things I went through does not define who I am. It absolutely shapes me into someone who, as we go back to those internal gratitudes, I have a lot of empathy and compassion towards people. And I want to help people. And I have this yearning to learn more, not just for myself, but for others as well, but more for myself too. So what I want you to hear is you can't outsource your self-worth with outcomes. Gratitude will bring you back to doing it in you. Insourcing. New term. So I love gratitude. It's really helped me through a lot of really hard times, even finding gratitude in my dad's death. It doesn't mean that I'm happy, but it means that I'm learning things through it, right? I'm learning, as I already talked about, like how grateful I am for my body, how grateful I am for my ability to take care of myself, my gratitude towards my finances and being able to go to the doctor, my ability to buy food, eat food, enjoy food, right? Go to restaurants, local businesses, of course. That's my new thing. I'm not buying anything from corporate America. Sorry. My clients who work for Target are like, no. Sorry, guys. My ability to, what was I talking about? My ability. Oh, yeah. Okay. So My dad's death also taught me about my gratitude towards my family, even though for a long part of my life, I couldn't find that. My gratitude towards my business and my clients. Oh my God, I love you guys so much. And my gratitude towards the safety and trust that you guys put in me that then give me the ability to pour back into you. Your patience with me while I was gone. Your patience with me since I've come back. It's been almost 4 months at this point when this airs. And it's still a process. We're still figuring it out. So gratitude isn't mindset fluffiness. It's an intervention to help you reconnect to you and trust yourself. So when you intentionally feel gratitude, what happens in your brain is it releases dopamine, right? It releases serotonin. We love those things. More importantly is that dopamine and serotonin signal safety in your brain. And that's what we want, right? We talked about that baseline last episode. That safety is so important. And also, genuine gratitude will soften that inner critic. And it will help you create a sense of balance in change, for whatever that looks like. Or if we just want to maintain where we're at, wonderful. Let's be proud of where we're at. So again, your practice is to pause and ask, where can I soften? Where can I find gratitude towards myself? We want to breathe into your body and take that second to find something or be thankful for something specific in you and speak gratitude out loud. Speak it into yourself. What is it about me that I am thankful for? We are moving from this critical place to this compassionate, curious, thankful place. And that goes a long way. So if you've been feeling disconnected around food, your body, your worth, this is your invitation to come back to the present. And as I said, I'm hoping you're listening to this before whatever it is you have going on for Thanksgiving. Gratitude is water to your growth. And then you get grateful that you grew, and then gratitude plants a new seed, and we just keep growing. It's fantastic. And I hope that you can take the things that we talked about today, go into this meal, go into the holidays, and really feel so proud of where you're at, where you're going, who you are, because baby, you are worth it. You are worth it. So for those of you who love people, please send this to them. So now you have to send it to at least one person because hopefully you love others, because I really hope that we share this message with other people. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. I am so thankful for you listeners. I know this year, obviously, I had kind of that breakup with my co-host, and y'all stayed around. Some of you are new. I have people reaching out to me and be like, oh, I went back and started from the beginning. I didn't realize you had a co-host. I'm like, yeah, I did. Listen to those pods too, because they're a part of this and where we're at today. I'm just so grateful for you guys, grateful for my clients, former clients, all of you who still share this, who message me, who comment on it. I'm grateful for this gift to help others. It feels so good. And I get to do this for my job. And, there's been times this year I'm like, do I just go back to being a therapist in an office? Do I stop doing this? And then I'll get that message from someone, and it'll just confirm, like, you're on the right track. So I'm grateful for you guys so very, very much. So happy Thanksgiving. I love you all. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, even if you don't watch on YouTube. And if you watch on YouTube and you don't listen on Spotify or Apple, please give us a follow there too. Just give us a follow everywhere you can. I'd be very grateful for that. And other than that, I'm going to leave you with the utmost gratitude and a reminder to you that what you say in your mind, you see in the mirror. Goodbye.